Did you know there's one of 3 categories a beekeeper can fall into? You can be a hobbyist beekeeper, a sideline beekeeper, or a commercial beekeeper. Well, I think there's a problem with one of these terms, and I'm going to talk about it today. Hello folks, Jason Chrisman, JC's Bees, your Central Ohio beekeeper. Now, one of these terms I mentioned a beekeeper can fall into is hobbyist. And in that category, it basically means you're not making any side income off of your bees. You just enjoy having them for pollination, or maybe you just enjoy having them around. For whatever reason, you fall under hobbyist beekeeper. Now, I have a problem with that, and here's why. If you treat beekeeping like a hobby, then your bees are most likely going to die. You see, with a hobby, say for me, for instance, I started playing guitar when I was, 13, 14 years old, many moons ago. And I've picked it down and I've put it up many a times. There's sometimes I don't play it for a whole year. There's sometimes I'll pick it up and strum on it a couple times a week. But, you know, it just varies depending on what's going on in my life. How much free time do I have? And if you're a person that's thinking about getting bees, and you're going to take your bees and treat them like it's a hobby, let me tell you, bees can't take that kind of neglect. They can't be shut off to the side or hung up on the wall and forgot about for a couple weeks or months or a year, like the guitar for me. So if you're thinking about getting into beekeeping, or maybe you're already into beekeeping, maybe don't think of it as a hobby. I think the hobbyist term really is probably a bad term to be used in beekeeping, because in today's beekeeping world, you can't just have a bee colony in the corner of your yard and expect it to survive year to year without management. It's just not going to happen. Personally, I think that term needs to be changed. I don't know what the right word would be, but hobbyist, not a good idea. Don't make beekeeping a hobby. Make it a passion. Think of your bees as what they are. Honeybees are considered livestock. You couldn't buy a cow, a horse, or chickens and feed them this week and then next week not feel like feeding them or seeing if they need your attention in any kind of manner. So they need management, and it's the same with beekeeping. So for that reason, I wouldn't consider beekeeping what is considered now as a hobby. If you look at it as a hobby, you're setting your bees up for failure. So that's my 2 cents on the term hobbyist and hobby being used in beekeeping. It can't be that way today. It has to be more than a hobby. It has to be maybe a pastime, not a hobby. Hobby is a bad term to be used.
Ladybug, come here. What you been doing? Everybody's been asking about you. Everybody's been asking about where's Ladybug. Where is she at? Well, we didn't really want to share the news, but since everybody's been asking where Ladybug is on her heat cycle. So she's been staying inside a lot, so we ain't got to worry about the neighboring dogs coming in. Moosey boy there, he's fixed. Come here, Moose. Moose is fixed. We ain't got to worry about him. Not sure if we plan on getting Ladybug fixed or not. We have talked about puppies. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see down the road. We're not worried about it right now, huh? Huh? Yeah, we're not worried about it right now. You see how healthy this girl is right here? She wouldn't look like that if she was just a hobby. Huh? You're not a hobby. You're my full-time gig, girl. And we got Moosey there. He's my full-time get in trouble boy. Hey, what are you doing? Remember, we don't eat chicken poop, Moose. Moose, you got in trouble yesterday, didn't you? You want to tell the people what you did? Sit down. Sit. Tell them.
I eat chicken poop. I'm a bad boy. I eat chicken poop. I love chicken poop. Dad gotta watch me all the time. Make sure I don't eat chicken poop.
Moose?
Just testing you, Dad.
He knows. Dad's watching.
Well, people have been asking about Ladybug, and I wanted to share where she's been hiding and why she hasn't been in the videos. And that would be why. She's been in heat. But I think she's on her way out of her heat cycle, so in the next couple of weeks, she'll be out here full time with Daddy. Right? Right, Moosey? Right, Ladybug? All right, guys. It might look pretty out here, but it's cold. Let's go in.
So what is the takeaway here? Well, the way I see it, there's one of two ways to take this video, and that all depends on your stance currently in beekeeping. If you haven't started beekeeping yet and you're thinking about it, think about it as I just proposed, not as a hobby, as something that needs to be managed, such as livestock. Don't think you're going to stick a hive in the corner of the yard and for many, many years it's going to prosper and grow, because that's not the case. And the reason for that is we have many pests now in beekeeping, and one of the biggest ones is Varroa mites. Varroa destructor, actually, if you wanted to research them. And they're a pest that infest our bees, and they make them sick and weak, especially during the dormant season, when there's not a whole lot going on in the hive. So these mites need to be managed, and for that reason, it's not a hobby. If you are currently a beekeeper, the way to think about this is to treat your bees like livestock, like I just mentioned. Don't think of it as a hobby, treat them as livestock. If you can go out there and manage your bees just like you would cattle or sheep, chickens, whatever it may be, a living thing, living organisms. If you can do that, then you're on the right track with your beekeeping journey. My first few years, I struggled with keeping up with all the demand that my bees needed. And for that reason, I didn't do very good. It wasn't until my third year, actually going into my fourth year, that I successfully overwintered bees. And that was just because I treated it like a hobby and not like livestock. So if you can get that drilled into your mind, I think you're on the right path, folks. Now, I do think seriously that there needs to be a term change in beekeeping, and that is the hobbyist set of mind. You can't be a hobbyist in beekeeping and be successful. So I think we need to get that term out of there and change it with something else. I don't know who we contact about that. I don't know. I'm not even sure who to contact about that, but I do think there needs to be a change. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the term hobbyist in beekeeping, and you can leave them down in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you pound on that thumbs up button, and if you haven't subscribed, please take time to do so. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week, folks.